Hey YouTube, it's Patrick with Mid 10 Outdoors. Getting back away from the gun stuff for a while. Got a couple other gun related videos I've got to do. Those are coming. But getting back into what the channel stands for is Mid 10 Outdoors. It's about getting outdoors. It's not just about shooting guns, but it's about camping, hiking, backpacking, fishing, all that stuff. I hadn't done anything on the fishing yet. And it's been a few years since I've done any fishing. Getting back into it a little bit. My son's just been wearing me out about going fishing. So okay, we're gonna do some fishing. Now I'm not buying a boat. Not doing that. Nope. Anyway, what I want to go over with is checklist, camping checklist. Especially if you guys are first timers. Maybe you're that person that always forgets something. I know you're out there. I can be found guilty of that from time to time myself. Maybe you're super organized. Maybe you want to have everything organized, and you want to go right down the middle, and you want to be, on top of things. Maybe you're like me and have been doing it for 30 years. Have been camping for 30 years and can go out in the garage and assemble everything you got to have for camping except for your food. You'd have to go get that or pull it out of your pantry one. But can go camping in a matter of an hour. Can be ready to go camping as far as gear goes. Clothing wise, laundry. Depends on the laundry schedule. But anyway, looking at that, it's what I'm going to go over. Is the different, some different things, for planning out your camping, from your goods to your foods to where you're going to be, the whole 9 yards. Now, we'll get to the checklist here in just a few minutes, and this is all basically checklist, guys. First off, this one is planning your trip altogether. Now, I found these on ecampsite.com. Go check it out. I've got a camping checklist I'll show you here in a little bit. This is basically planning your trip, which the first thing you do is plan a trip. Now, where I'm at, I'm in Tennessee. Blink your eye, your weather changes in Tennessee. Now, we have had some of the driest weather we've had in a while, and all of a sudden, monsoon hits for a week. I mean, it had rained solid for a week here. Rain's gone, now it's hot again. We've got scattered thunderstorms here and there, and that's it. So, preparing for weather in Tennessee, if you make a schedule and say, hey, September 14th, we're going camping that weekend, which is my birthday, hint, hint. Any YouTubers want to send me a nice birthday present. I prefer 1911s, cool camping gear. Okay, on with that plug. Anyway, so you sit out and say, okay, we're going camping. Let's go where? Let's go to the Smokies. Let's go to the AT Trail. Let's do parts of the AT Trail that weekend. And you can car camp and go and see parts of the Appalachian Trail. And you can go and see different waterfalls. So we would put up here Smokies. We're going to the Smokies. We had a departure date and put September whatever. This is when we're leaving. Return date, we put September whatever. So you're going for 3 days. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday camping trip. Labor Day weekend, for that matter. So you have that return date. Now what's important is, in the same time you're filling that out, you're filling this out. What this sheet is something you can give to a friend or a family member, and basically gives all your information. Your vehicle, where you're going, your cell phone numbers, who all's going to be with you. And we got some things I'm going to do on a different video for this. Date of departure and time of arrival back, or date of arrival back. And you know as well as I do, camping, you may say, hey, we're going to be back Sunday noon. Well, you end up doing other things, and then your Sunday afternoon or evening coming back. But the good thing is you call that person when you get back and say, hey, I'm back in town, we're good, just 5 mosquito bites and 1 tick, and you go on with life. But if you don't make it back, you're in an area that you have no cell phone service and you're stranded, well, this person that you left your information with, or where you're going, knows to tell the authorities now, hey, I know Patrick, he usually comes back at a decent time. He's not back yet. I'm kind of fearful for them. This is what they're driving. This is where they were going. I want you to check it out. So that's what that's for. That's your information that you leave behind with your friend or family member. Then you also make your, where you're going to go, you know, let's go see chimney tops or whatever you want to do. If you need driving directions to the Smokies, you do your driving directions and cost and prices of things, you know, how much is it going to cost to camp, how much is it going to cost to get there, blah, blah, blah. If you get into that. Now, some people don't get into how much it's going to cost or any of that stuff, but it's still important to have a list of where you're going and what you're going to be doing. Which gets to list. Camping list. So I went on the internet to see how many of these bad boys I could print off. First one here, it's two-parter. You can cut it in half and have multiple deals. It came from www.freeprintablegrocrylist.com. This is actually for basically for your groceries and stuff and your food prep and all your cooking gear. We'll get into that here in just a minute. Now, if you're Boy Scout, you know you have certain lists that you have to go by. The biggest thing on your list, of course, your little more personalized items, would be no electronics, because they don't allow it. Most troops don't. The real troops don't allow you to have electronics. They want you to go and enjoy the nature. That's what you're there for. I kind of agree with that, but this day and age, you got to keep the kids kind of entertained sometimes, dead hours. But anyway, back to the ecampsite.com. I found an excellent, I mean, this thing is killer, checklist for your camping equipment. Now, once you got your checklist and decide who you're going to go to, and like I said, search it out. There's eCampsite. Here's printable camping list, checklist.com. Love the outdoors. There's theirs. It's quite lengthy. Goes through all the shelters and stuff like that. So there's something that you go with as far as getting your camping equipment. Now, the cool thing is with the camping equipment, this is a good opportunity. And I always try to do it the week before is kind of get my gear somewhat together. The reason why I do that is to go over my gear. Now, maybe the last camping trip you went on, you had something happen. Flashlight batteries died, so you need new flashlight batteries, which you always should keep extra batteries with you. Lantern mantle broke, so you got to replace the lantern mantle. Something happened that you need to do. Maybe it's time to seam seal your tent, you know, to keep the water out. Maybe it's the time of year you're going to go. You can have a good shower for a couple hours and you're stuck in a tent. You don't want to be stuck in a leaky tent. You sure don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to a leaky tent. So it's a good time to do that. Now, I'll do another video on tents and seam sealing and that kind of stuff later down the road, because I have some things, my theories on it, and it works for me. But anyway, you got your checklist. And the cool thing is you can take these checklists and you can get your gear together, get all your stuff together. You can also, as the kids get older, is let them start pulling the stuff together. You know, let them start checking the gear out. Let them start taking a little more responsibility for especially for their stuff. Make one up just for the kids. This is what you got to pack for your weekend, okay? It's good to get them involved. It teaches them, it helps them, and they learn what, you know, what all this stuff's for. You know, why do we need that lantern? Why do we need that cook stove? Or why do we need the pots and pans? You know, this, that, and another. And you need this kind of stuff. I mean, to me, especially if you're trying to keep it organized, which an unorganized camping trip turns into, can be quite chaotic and suck. I mean, let's just be honest about it. So you get your camping stuff together. Well, there's one other thing. You've got your trip plan. You've got your trip plans. Try to get these in camera. And you've got your gear and everything you're taking, your cookware and all that. So you're good to go. Wrong. You still got to plan out menus. You know, I always plan out a menu before I go camping. Now, most of this stuff, unfortunately, these two came from Boy Scouts, which, I mean, I say unfortunately, that's where I learned all this stuff. Ignore the part that says duty roster. The thing is you can sit down and come up with your menu of what you're going to have. So you're going to be gone for 3 days. Well, you definitely need a breakfast for Saturday morning, lunch, which could be on the trail, so you have to prepare for that, dinner in camp, and then breakfast the next morning, tear down your stuff and go. Now, I'm going to say this up front, guys. If you're new to this, keep it simple, okay? Keep it simple. Don't try to over plan. Don't try to make goulash or something out in the wilderness. Cooking outside can be a little bit different, and if you're not careful, you'll burn everything you got. Remember, guys, you're cooking with propane. You could be cooking on wood. It could cook slower, whatever. So be careful with how you cook and make sure you get everything done, or you could be sick, and then that's worse than ever before, because then you're stuck in a tent sick. But anyway, get your grocery list together. Figure out what you're going to take and go grocery shopping. Get the kids involved once again. Let them know what you've got to have, and let them go with you to the store and plan out their meals. Unhappy kid at camp is a very bad time for the parents too. So anyway, the meal plan to me is just as important as planning, making sure you have your gear, making sure everybody, where you're going, make sure you have everything else. It's just another checklist. So guys, get your checklist together before you go camping, especially if you're taking the family, even if it's just 1 or 2 people. You still need to let people know. You still need to plan your gear, plan for your season, whatever. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Get out and get camping and enjoy our wilderness while we still have it, and be prepared. Thanks, guys.